Hey students, for your assignment 3, um, you're going to go to your yard and you're going to find something. You can find rocks, you can find leaves, you can find whatever you like. I just happened to pull out a elm tree out of my yard. Seems like I'm always doing that. So I have lots of elm trees. Uh, if you have to just get some clay and or dirt and water it down and connect it together, whatever it takes. I want you to make something that looks like an animal using things that you have around the house. Now, I don't want to have an unfair advantage, so I'm only using a limited amount of tools so that something that, you probably have more tools than this. I'm using tape, I'm using scissors, and 2 other tools. So, now, I'm just going to try to use the root area because I think that the root area is going to be nice and soft and easy to work with. You can use whatever you have at your house. Here's my basic plan. Let me see if this focuses properly. So you can see that I'm going to make a turtle, and I want to make sure that the turtle kind of comes to a nice little edge right here. I forgot what kind of turtles they are, but they have like that soft back instead of the hard back. And then I'm make sure that the fins are identified nicely, and then the head is prominent. Those are the things that I'm looking for. Okay. So, and these are the tools that I'm going to be using to create that product. You guys are going to make whatever you want, and remember your goal is to make an animal, right? If you do not want to make an animal, please text me individually and get permission ahead of time. That's fine with me. I just I don't want you to say, well, I don't want to do an animal, but I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, that doesn't help me. You have a decision, tell me, I'll probably say yes. Okay, so I'm going to start with the thicker part of this right here. These aren't exactly the right tools, but no, they're not the right tools at all. Not exactly. Completely not the right tools. Okay, so I got this right here, and then I'm going to create a nice little arch. This is going to be the outside of the turtle's shell. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here. And I'm not doing anything fancy as far as connecting this is concerned. I'm just going to use some tape. Like I told people that went to the Zoom class, remember that I want you to spend an hour on this project. If you feel like you need an extension, you are thinking too hard, okay? You need to simplify your piece, okay? So I have this right here, okay, nice little arch. Now I need to make that internal one that goes in here, but that one needs to be on a separate plane, right? I need to have it arched up and down. So the distance between here and here has to be longer than the distance between here and here so that it gets pushed up together and then lifts up itself. And I'm going to find a part of the root that's a lot skinnier maybe. I don't think that will work. So the distance between here and here has to be longer than what I have right here. I'm going to make it a little bit longer. The roots are not going to be exactly straight, so I'm not going to get like this beautiful straight line. I'm going to have a more natural straight line. when you're using found objects that are in nature, it's naturally gonna have a lot of different shapes already in it. So don't fight it. You can try to coarse it a little bit, but that's about it. So now that I have that, I'm going to attach these two together. Guys, I really hope this works. I just finished grading all your grades just a few minutes ago. I don't know what time it is. It's probably past 9. And I really want this to be a one take because I want to go to bed. But I still have to post this online before I go to bed. So that's that. Now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and arch it up and then glue this down right here. And then I have that arch that I wanted. Okay. Good, I like that. It works. I still have to figure out how the body parts are going to attach. I'm thinking about just like making a plane using the tape, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Now, I had a lot of great advice from my first Zoom class, and a lot of them wanted to do like kind of a, what is that called? Sorry, I went ahead and put tape going across the back and to the front, and that gave it a little bit of push up so that it's lifting up. I'm sorry, collage. The art students from my second Zoom class wanted to do collages. So if they want, this could be like the beginning, and once they have this, they could use the surface of this product to create a two-dimensional surface, right? So you'd have to cover the whole thing, almost like paper mache or something. And then once you have that paper mache like covered product, then you can use this the two-dimensional outside surface as a two-dimensional surface telling a two-dimensional story, right? So you can go ahead and go through some magazines and steal stuff and rip stuff out, and you know, if you want to print stuff off of YouTube, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with, I'm sorry, not YouTube, Google, right? Or the other company, what's the other one? I can't remember. So anyway, just use the search engine and find one, right? Okay. Now, I don't know, this right here, it's almost too much. I wonder if I can kind of fix this. Probably has a camber in it where like part of the wood has been like part of the wood has been manipulated in a way where it has more tension on one side and less tension on the other, and I don't know that I can pull that out of there. It's probably just there to stay. Okay, so this is my turtle body, right? And then I think I want to go ahead and make just tape going straight across the back, giving me a plane to work with. And then once I have that plane, I'm going to go ahead and attach the arms and the legs using the rest of this. I was thinking about like, oh yeah, you guys could do like paper mache with like toilet paper. And I'm like, oh, probably not. No, not the toilet paper. Like a few weeks ago, I went over to Fry's and all the toilet paper was completely sold out. And then I went over to the cold aisle, the cold and flu aisle, and it's completely full. Like, I'd buy out the cold medicine. As a matter of fact, I got a little bit of, what is that called? The medicine for when you have like allergies, because I don't want to get stuck at home without allergy medicine. That'd be tough. I don't think I want to cover the whole thing with tape. And the reason is that, we're doing a found object assignment. And if I try to hide the fact that everything's in tape, it's going to be pretty obvious that there was something underneath that I was trying to hide. And, they know what it is. It's not going to be like, oh, they didn't use something I recognize. Like, no, they're going to know that you've used found objects. So don't spend too much time hiding the fact that it is a found object. That's part of the allure of found object sculptures, is that you can tell that it's part of nature, and there's like accidents and surprises, and those are fun things to have. So I went ahead and created the plane across the bottom. I think I need one more piece of tape to finish it off. You can see that I'm whipping through this pretty quickly. I'm not trying to show off to you guys, right? I'm doing this fast so that you can see that it's not above your pay grade. This is something that you can do, that anybody can do, okay? Good. So I like that. You can see that the little roots are still kind of showing on top of the tape. I think that's beautiful. Well, maybe not beautiful. I think it's very interesting to look at all that biology and all that nature, right? Maybe you don't feel that way, I'm sorry. Okay, now that I have that, I need to figure out the head. Actually, you know what? I'm going to figure out the two fins first, and then I'm going to figure out the head. For the four fins, are they called fins? They're not really fins. It's not like they have dorsals or anything. But anyway, I want the soft stuff. I think that will work really nicely for what I'm working on. Right. And I'm looking at my drawing, is how I did it. I like that little, like, kind of a happy face shape. So let me see if I can get that in there. And but before I do that, I want to have four of these that are pretty similar. And I'm going to make all four of them at the same time. That way they're all about the same size. Once you make one and then you're trying to get it the same size, and if it's not, it's kind of like, those hair parlors that they cut a little bit off this side and it doesn't quite line up, so a little bit more off of this side and back and forth, and pretty soon you have very little left, right? Classic comedy. So I'm kind of running out of that thinner stuff, so hopefully I have enough. Otherwise I have to go for something either larger or smaller. So I have this one, that's 3, 1, 2, 3. One of them's thicker than the other. Let's see if I have any other roots that are kind of the same size. This one's really thick. This one's almost too thick, but I think that's about the last of it. What about this one? This one might be too thin. It might work. Let me try this. Okay, I'll work with this. So I'm going to make sure that all 4 of them are the same height. I have one that's shorter, so I'll shorten the rest of them. Okay, I have all 4 at the same height. I'm going to organize them into the larger 2 and the smaller 2, because you know, it's okay that the front and the back look a little different. A little bit, right? This one's still a little bit long. Poor tools. Okay, so these 2 are going to go together. And again, I want to make that happy face. How did I make that happy face? I had like this, like that. Okay. So I'm going to put a bend right here. I'm going to put a bend right here. Hopefully I get them really close. If it's not exact, I'm okay, but I hope that they look similar. Okay. So I like that look. Looks nice. I mean, a little bit thrown together, but I can work with that. Now, I'm only using this stuff. If you guys want to use wider, that's fine with me. If you guys want to use glue seems like way too much time to wait for it to set up. You could use hot glue, right? That didn't work because there's dirt on this. The tape isn't going to enjoy sticking to this. I do have, I did find the Gorilla Tape outside, and that would work a lot better. But I should, if I could work with this, you guys could work with it too, right? Not everybody has like the best tape in the world in your house. I don't want you to be going out there, guys. I really want you to stay home. Just stay safe. Okay. So that kind of works for me. I like it. It kind of has that look of this kind of a undercut, kind of a concave section, and I have the convex section. I even have a little bit of like an articulation in that corner. Let's see how the second one comes out. Hopefully it comes out nicely. Hopefully, we'll see. This one's very different as far as like strength and malleability. So try to work like a factory worker in the sense that try to do everything in the same order, so that you can try to produce a similar effect. You don't want to have like everything coming out different every single time, right? You want them to have a similar response, just like, you know, scientific experiment, right? Only change one variable at a time. Hopefully you get something, you know, that you want. Okay. It's a little off. This bend right here is just a little higher. Let me see if I can get that correct. It's looking close. I mean, you know, considering what I'm working with, that's not bad at all. I should have had like a tape dispenser. I have one at school for masking tape. I have a tool for that. let's see if it still looks the same. If you look at it from the side, it's very like a leaf. It's really bent. I don't think that's really bad though. Like in nature, depending on which way the water is working against the animal, maybe that makes sense. With it, or I don't know. So that's one side. I hope that's not too small. I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. It's still pretty. And here's the other one. Make sure I'm putting it on in the same way. Is that right? No. This is how it goes. So that goes like this. Here. So let's get this out of the way. You don't need to see that. So for students that I saw on Zoom, it was really nice seeing you. For everybody else, please, can you guys do like a private, just 2 or 3 students get together and we could talk on Zoom? I know that some of you started working because you have that extra time. I wish you stayed home. I understand. I don't know what I would have done if I were in your place. Okay, so I got 2. Let me get the last 2 on the back. So again, I'm going to make those little U shapes, and then I'll make the, well, these are a little different looking. I think I'm just going to keep the U shapes and connect them like that, and then just put the tape across the back. I think that would be fine. Less work. I wouldn't mind doing the extra work, but I don't think it's needed. Okay, so that's that. Let's do the other one. Just a little teardrop shape. Okay, let's see how they line up. A little different just because of this bend right here. I think that bend is going to be taped in, but for now I'm going to go ahead and give it a little cast to straighten it out a little bit, and then it won't even show once I tape it on, because that will be underneath the place that got taped. That straightened it up a little bit. Nice. Okay, so I have this one, I have that one. Pretty similar size. One's a little bit bigger than the other, not by much. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tape this to this side, tape that to the other side. And, tape likes to stick to tape, so you know, go long and kind of overlap as much as possible. It's kind of cute, you know, as dirty roots go. And now I want to put the head in. I don't know if I want to put the head in from the top. I don't think so. I think I want to put it in from the bottom. And then I don't know what part I'm going to use here. You know, And if I had, I told you guys that I was going to use tools. I was just going to use these tools. I think if I could have used this part right here, I could have just cut that with a saw and used that. That would have been awesome. But because I'm trying to mimic the situation you're in, where you might be limited in tools, I'm just going to be resourceful, right? Resourceful. Don't say what I can't do. We know you can't do a lot. It's just, that's a given in life. There's a lot of stuff that I can't do, right? But what is it that I can do? What works, right? Let me get this cleaned up a little bit. Okay, cool. So, this is going to be my head. I think it's proportionately appropriate. I don't think it's too big. I don't think it's too small. I do think that if I make it into tear shape, I don't think I like that. I think I want it to be more of a U shape. So I'm going to put the tape on one side, tape it to itself, and then reach over to the opposite side, and then bend it back on top of itself. So overlap, tape, sticky side to sticky side. Come over to this side over here, and kind of see what size I like. I think I like that. Okay. Okay, good. I can work with this. I wonder if this is going to be too flimsy. We'll see. I might have to, instead of just taping like straight across all the time, sometimes you want to kind of go across each other, and that, you know, kind of create. I did that over here too, right? When I wanted to get that lift, right? So zigzag. I'm gonna go extra long on this one. I feel like I need some extra, like tension to lift up the head, so that the head's just not dragging. Yeah, that's nice. A little too long, but no, they can shorten it up. That's fine. Okay. And I still don't like how this is. It's just too low for me. I want it to be higher. So I'm gonna go across here and lift up this back a little bit so I get more of an arch. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So at this point, guys, this assignment can be finished. Boom, done. Okay. But for those who want to like do more, we can use the surface and then build up the surface so that we can have we can add things such as imagery or painting or stuff like that to it to tell more of a story. Okay, cool.